Hey guys, Travis Gillespie here. We're looking at spheres, and here's another problem to look at. It says compare the volumes and surface areas of a sphere with radius 42 centimeters and a rectangular prism measuring 44 centimeters by 84 centimeters by 84 centimeters. So it looks like there's going to be a lot of work here, and what's really happening, we're just comparing values. So I'm going to divide the screen up in 4 sections here. And on the left hand side, we're going to be looking at spheres. Let me just change pen colors real quick. So this whole side will be dedicated to spheres, and over here this entire side will be dedicated to the rectangular prism, but I'm just going to write prism here instead. Alright, so the next thing I could do here, so the next thing I could do is just draw a small sphere on screen. So here's my sphere. Alright, so you're working with the sphere on one side, and on the other side you've got this rectangular prism. And again, if you're going to draw pictures, just know you don't need to spend a lot of time on pictures, and they don't have to be perfect, just as long as you actually have a visual of what you're working with and it makes sense to you. So I like them because they allow you to kind of see what you're dealing with. So I'm going to just change pen colors and maybe even pen sizes here. Okay, so the radius for the sphere, and if you're looking inside here, I'm running out of room. There's not enough to write the radius value inside, so what I'm going to do is use an arrow indicating that the radius is 42 centimeters. So the radius is 42 centimeters. Alright, and over here on the rectangular prism, well, it's 44 centimeters, 44 by 84 by 84. So here's a rectangular prism also. Alright, I'm going to change pen colors again. Alright, so let's start with the sphere. So the volume of a sphere, it's V, is equal to 4/3 pi r cubed, and I'm going to use 42 for the radius here. V is equal to 4/3 times pi times 42 cubed. Okay, so from here what you do is follow straight through order of operations to find out what the volume is equal to. But because we're limited on space and also limited on time working through 4 different problems, what I'm going to do is fast forward from here. Let me just grab another pen color. And I'm going to write the final answer down. The volume, it's approximately, because you're going to approximate this final value to 310,181.76 centimeters cubed. And now let's jump over to this next problem here. Okay, so now over here, the formula for finding the volume of a rectangular prism, it's V is equal to length times width times height. Alright, so now the values that I substitute in for length, width, and height, well, I'll substitute 44 in for the length, 84 in for the width, and 84 in for the height. And in this problem, you just multiply straight through. Actually, you could multiply in any order to get your final answer, and that's what I'm going to do. Alright, and let's write that down over here. The volume is equal to 310,464, and I'm going to write centimeters cubed. Now let's move down back over to the sphere, just looking at the surface area. So the formula here, the surface area, that formula is S is equal to 4 pi r squared. Alright, and since I'm using that purple pen, I'm just going to write the surface area formula for rectangular prism here. S is equal to 2 times length times the width plus 2 times length times the height plus 2 times width times the height. Alright, and now I'm going to substitute values in for both of these equations. Alright, so over here for the sphere, S is equal to 4 pi r, which is 42 centimeters, squared. Alright, and let's move over to the prism here. It's S is equal to 2 times 44 times 84 plus 2 times 44 times 84 plus 2 times 84 times 84. And let's see if we can get that on screen there. Cool. Alright, so the final answer here would be the surface area. It's equal to 22,155.84 centimeters squared. And over here for the prism, the surface area would equal 28,896 centimeters squared. Okay, so now I'm actually just going to box up these final answers just so I can compare the values. So looking at the volume of both sphere and prism, well, I can see that the prism's volume is larger by about 280 centimeters. And some people might say, well, you know, that's not that far off from one another. So since we're dealing with large values here, I'm going to approximate the volume of both sphere and prism to be about the same. They're approximately the same volume. And now looking at the sphere and the prism's surface area, when we look at these two values, well, they're off by more than a few thousand centimeters. So the prism has a larger surface area than the sphere. Cool stuff. I'll see you in another video.